Absolutely. Ambassador Sikri, in fact, the world is already aware that this ecosystem of terror exists in Pakistan. If that was not the case, we would not be talking about the FATF in Pakistan and Pakistan being put in the grey list as well. And look at what happened, to the Chinese treatment of Pakistan very recently when Ishaqdar went to China. There was no protocol to receive him. There were no special provisions made. India cannot even dream of being treated like that, let alone by its friends, but by its enemies also. And China calls Pakistan its friend, and Pakistan calls China its friend. You've been a seasoned diplomat, ma'am. How is this particular outreach unique and exclusive in nature, and how does this put India's diplomacy on a new edge, at a new level, like it's never been done before? Our diplomacy has already, grown leaps and bounds ever since 2014, ma'am.
Well, I think you're absolutely right. This is the new normal. I think Prime Minister Modi spoke about the new normal in our reaction to terrorist attacks. Each terrorist attack is going to be an act of war as far as we are concerned, and it will be responded to in kind with the right degree of deterrence and strength. And this is what we have shown on May 7th and on May 10th. In diplomacy, too, this is now the new normal. I must say that for all these decades, I would say after the Shimla Agreement, maybe, it was a document that should never have been signed. But when it was signed, we actually began to believe in it, and we would not take up these issues of terrorism, Jammu and Kashmir bilaterally at all. Whereas Pakistan went ahead and told the world innumerable times over all these past decades, terrible things about India. This is what is happening, that is what's happening. Help us. We are being discriminated. All kinds of stories. We kept quiet. Now is the time after 2014. We have gradually been taking a stronger approach, and in the UN, everywhere, wherever Pakistan makes any kind of wrong allegations, we respond to it forcefully and immediately and don't let it go unanswered. And today, when we have responded to the Pahalgam terrorist attacks of 22nd April, this is part of the new normal. We are determined to explain to the world the hypocrisy of Pakistan. Even what you said today about the attacks in Baluchistan, immediately Pakistan blames India. But nobody's asking Pakistan for the evidence. And when the bestial terrorist attacks on 22nd April took place in Pahalgam, Pakistan was the first person to ask India, and even some other countries said, "Give evidence. This is a false flag operation." So everybody was questioning us. But today, when Pakistan is leveling absolutely unfounded allegations against India, nobody's telling them, "Give the evidence." Why? So this is the kind of unequal inequality that had come in over these decades in the treatment of India's approach and Pakistan's approach, but we're not going to let it last anymore. And I'm very glad that this important development has taken place, this new norm in global diplomacy, reaching out to the world and explaining to them the hypocrisy of Pakistan's constantly using terrorist attacks and then hiding behind the world community, hiding behind China's skirts, hiding behind everybody else, and then going out and begging for more. Give me more money from the IMF. And what are they using the IMF money for? It is shocking enough that IMF gave that money to Pakistan in the middle of all these hostilities. And what is Pakistan using it for? 14 crores to Masood Azhar because he lost 14 people. In the terrorist attacks on 7th, in our deterrence attacks on 7th of May. And then Pakistan has promised to rebuild all these terrorist headquarters. The world knows that Jaish-e-Mohammed, Lashkar-e-Taiba, UN banned organizations, they have their headquarters in Pakistan. Everybody is keeping quiet. Everybody's turning a blind eye. And we have the only country which has had the absolute strength, the determination, and the skills to absolutely destroy these headquarters without touching the civilian infrastructure nearby or any other military infrastructure. So we have shown our capability, but we must call out Pakistan. We must tell the IMF, we must tell the world, why are you doing this? You're giving money to them and they're using it for the terrorists again. We must not let that terrorist build-up happen again in Pakistan. And the first series of the 7 delegations, which will go and over the next 2 weeks, they will be explaining our position. This should be followed up by others at the UNGA, at others, at every opportunity. This must be there in every talking brief because, people tend to just dismiss these terrorist attacks. Either they say, oh, they believe Pakistan's story, or they say, oh, well, this is just a law and order situation, or they put it down to something else, Jammu and Kashmir, or like President Trump saying 1,000 years old, without even knowing what this is all about and where this happened and how the problem took place, and how all that we have now to talk about is to get back POJK, Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir. All these issues have to be brought out, and I think the way in which the delegations have been structured, multi-party, bipartisan, multi-partisan, and every community represented, everybody has gladly joined and has considered it a great honor to be included in these delegations, and I'm all of us will be watching very carefully as they move from one country to the other. I'm sure our embassies in these countries will arrange for them the absolutely highest possible level interaction with the foreign ministers and others, with intellectuals, with academia, with young professionals, with all the people, to give this message about the new India, the new normal, and what we are going to do to counter terrorism should it ever raise its ugly head again.
Absolutely, ma'am. Well said. General Sudhakar ji, it's absolutely